What's going on, people? Chico X of Lion City Productions. I'm here again with my girl, my co-host Lily. We got Mr. Burns, como siempre, in the ones and twos, making sure everything is sounding all right. Now, I got a special show for you guys today. We're gonna talk about a little bit of everything, a couple of studies again, like we always bring.
Yes, definitely.
We also have some tips from Lily about how to do your part in global warming.
Yes.
So that, you know what I mean, like at least you feel like you're doing something good.
Yes.
But what we're gonna start right now is something actually very special. We're gonna interview my personal lawyer.
Oh, so you have a personal lawyer
I got a
now.
personal. I don't know if you
Coming
knew.
on up.
There you go.
Coming on
I
up.
don't know if you knew, but I came here at age 15,
Oh, okay, yes.
and at first I came on a political asylee, and then I'm a resident
Political
now.
ass what?
But huh?
You came as a political ass what?
Not political ass. Not political
Political
ass,
ass.
Mr. Burns. Thank you very much. We got asylee, political asylee, and so he helped me through the process of becoming a resident, and now he's gonna help me to become a citizen. And let me tell you, my
Congratulations.
situation was a little hard. So I gotta give a special thanks and big props to my lawyer, Mr. David Wright. I know he's here in the line. Mr. Wright, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
How you doing? So I just want to let everybody know that my situation was a little hard because I was a little of a bad boy when I was a little younger, and I'm pretty sure he knows that. He remembers that. So, but he was able to really help me through the process. My situation was a little difficult, and he got me what he got me the
job
papers.
done.
Just your
Got
lawyer
me
or
the
your
papers.
parole officer?
Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright did it.
So he's your lawyer, not your
yes.
parole officer.
Lucky for me, we didn't
He
get to the.
switches hats. Depending on the occasion, he'll switch hats.
Yes, at times he will tell me like, "Why are you messing up?" But he's really good though. He did it all for my good. So how you doing, Mr. Wright?
I'm just good.
I'm glad to hear that. So, like I told you before, I have a couple of questions from people. So actually, people have been submitting questions to me. I made an event in Facebook to give people the chance and opportunity to send me questions that might help them. You know what I mean? Their
Okay.
situation, because it's a little bit. It takes a little bit of money
It
nowadays
does, it definitely does.
and rightfully so, because the path to legalization, it's something that you should definitely invest in if
Definitely.
if you lack the necessary documentation. So are you ready, Mr. Wright, for all of these tough questions?
Sure. Go
By the
ahead.
way, he didn't know in advance, so he's gonna
On
show
the
you the
spot.
knowledge on
Yeah,
the spot.
We'll see if I actually can respond or not. So,
There you go. So first of all, I want to ask you something. The title, when you study law and you want to be in the area of immigration, I'm assuming that there's basic stuff that all lawyers know regardless of their specialty, right?
sure, of course.
Okay. So okay. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
in fact, normally in law school, there's only one or two classes in immigration law. So
Oh, wow.
almost everything that you do is not immigration law. But immigration law is based on all of the same principles as regular law. So if you get through law school, then it's not too hard to go into the area, and after a few years, you kind of got it down.
In other words, you know a little bit of each area, criminal and all of that.
Of course, I
Oh, cool,
know,
then.
especially the overlap areas.
Then you know what? I could probably ask you at the end of the show. I can ask you a personal question about. I don't know. You can see.
About
You
the
cannot
bad
see
boy?
me. You cannot see me right now. But I was attacked, Mr. Wright. We have a big case to do against somebody. Big bucks. No, I'm just
Okay.
playing. So immigration lawyer is your official title, right?
That's right.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you now. I understand that a couple of these, things that people wrote to me were not as clear. So I'm assuming that this is terminology that they understand and you understand because this is your area. So this is a case of a guy who at 12-year-old he was 12-year-old in '96, and at 12-year-old when he was 12 years old, he crossed the border, but he crossed the border with something that's called the crosser border permit, which I never
Border crossing card.
border crossing card. Okay,
Yeah,
so
this is a card that's often combined with a visa, and it allows people who live along the border to go back and forth, to go shopping and things like that.
Okay.
yes,
And
yes,
you can
'cause-
use it to go only 100 miles into the country and stay for no more than 3 days.
Oh,
officially.
okay. So this is
But it's a
something
legal,
that
it's a legal entry.
it's a
That's
legal
very
entry.
important.
So this is what happened. So he came with that. Now he's saying that he was asked by one of the lawyers that he was talking to request an I-94. Now that card that he had, that crossing permit, did you call it?
It's a border crossing card.
border crossing card expired when he was 15.
I'm sure.
So that was about 14 years ago. Now he's saying that immigration cannot find that I-94 documentation, or basically they cannot find anything on their end that says that he was here legally. He entered the country legally. Now he has other documentation. He has, he's saying that he has proof that he was in school, that he was in the country legally, but now he's being advised by his lawyer to go. Supposedly he has some type of interview with INS, and he's being advised by his lawyer to go to that interview, but basically just leave it to the situation will be up to the officer in charge to decide it. Now, what would you advise him, though?
Well, just to give a little context, my guess is that what he's got here is an 245I qualifying petition by a family member. So somebody filed a petition to get him a green card back before April 2001. And in that version of 245I, you have to prove that you were in the U.S. on the date that law passed, which was December 20th of 2000. Mm-hmm. So showing presence in the country is one thing. The thing is that if it's not, if he's coming in under 245I, then
and what is
he
it
doesn't have to show the legal entry.
I'm sorry, what is 245I again?
245I is a law that has been passed two times, once in 98 and then in 2000, with an effective date of 2001. Mm-hmm. It's not an amnesty, as some people say, but it allows people to pay a $1,000 fine and be forgiven for having entered the country without papers. Mm-hmm. So he entered with papers, so normally he shouldn't need it. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, when you cross with a border crossing card, usually they don't give you a little I-94 card, which is a card that people get when they come in on other kinds of visas. Mm-hmm. But Mexicans on border crossing cards and Canadians usually don't get an I-94. So there's no record in the computer of when they came in. And in many cases, if you can't prove that you came in legally, you can't qualify, even though there's a family member who's petitioned for you and you waited in line. It doesn't matter. You can't qualify. So, the question is it because he has a 245I qualifying petition and he needs to show the December 20th, 2000 presence in the U.S.? Or is it that, the more serious situation, he doesn't have that, and everything depends on his convincing the officer that he entered legally. Now, I've had that situation come up quite a bit. If he's got the original border crossing card, it's great. Do you know if he has the original one?
No, I don't know that.
All right. Well,
so tell me which situation.
If he's lost it, then he has to convince the officer that it was there, and I would say this is scary.
I would say maybe he should bring maybe he should bring a dish of enchiladas or chilaquiles, something that convinces the officer like that.
Them?
Would you say?
Oh, I'd say he needs to bring in hamburgers and.
You're right. We're thinking. He needs to prove
an American flag.
He needs to bring something that it at the same time bribes him, but at the same time proves that he's American. So maybe like pancakes with syrup. Okay, I get it. Now, in which situation do you think it will look good for him, and in which situation you think you will look at bad just to close this case?
Well, the thing he needs to ask his lawyer is, what is actually the rule that's at stake here? What is the thing that's going to make the officer say yes or no? Is it about being physically present here in December 2000? Because if that's the case, then his school records are great. But if it's not that, then he needs to know if the lawyer has done everything he can to try to find some proof that he had a border crossing card if he's lost it. If he just says, I had one, but he doesn't have any proof of it, then the officer can say, well, we don't have any proof that you were here, so I think we'll arrest you and we'll let you tell the immigration judge about this.
Yes, we're just gonna deport you back.
But they won't deport him right away. But he needs to find out seriously what is the yes/no question that will save him or not.
And yeah, and of course, for more details, I mean, we